I'm here to talk to you about The Sims 4. Well, more specifically, what I want to see in The Sims 4 this year. In particular, one pack. I have an idea. I'm gonna pitch it to you, and I think that many of you might agree. Some of you will think it's boring, but that's not my problem. The Sims 4 has been around for a long time, and they've kind of covered all the bases of like the expected packs, right? Things like pets and seasons and university. Those are all like the big ones that we've all been waiting for years, and then we finally got. And now they've kind of covered all those bases. They have some room now to make more interesting, like different ones. Think like Eco Lifestyle and Snowy Escape. Both things that we probably didn't expect to see The Sims 4, but were pretty cool. Like honestly, two of my favorite packs. I love Eco Lifestyle, and I was not expecting to like it that much, but I use it constantly. However, there is one pack that I think we are still missing. So I have made a short presentation for you, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about my dreams for The Sims 4. I want to see Generations, but in The Sims 4. Generations was like my favorite pack back in the day. I played Sims 3 a lot when I was younger. That was my first Sims game. I was obsessed with The Sims 3. And I didn't have packs for like the majority of the time that I played it. I didn't even know there were packs for like 3 years, and then I was like, wait, what is this? And then I started like buying them when they were on sale. The first one I got was Pets, and then I got Generations. It adds that like family gameplay and like that spark and just the depth that I think The Sims 4 needs. We have so many options for gameplay in The Sims 4, and we have Parenthood, which is kind of family gameplay, but it's not quite the same thing we're looking for. Like Parenthood is obviously very catered to children and teens, and like the adults that are raising them being like, no, don't do this, get your manners up, and like that's cool. I love how it works. Parenthood's like my favorite pack for The Sims 4, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy that pack. But what I want to see is more like Generations-esque gameplay. So Generations had some pretty top tier features, if you ask me. Please ignore the poor quality of this box art. I could not find a better image. But one of my favorite parts of Generations was the Daycare Profession, and I would love to see a thing like this in The Sims 4. Obviously, we have like nannies that will come take care of your Sims. There's like babysitters that'll come take care of your Sims, but you can't actually be the babysitter. There's obviously a rabbit hole like part-time job that you can go babysit on the weekends, but I want the Daycare Profession back, because this one, your Sim could run like an at-home daycare, and then other Sims in the town would bring their toddlers to you, and they'd be there all day, and then afterward they come pick them up and then go home, and then you would get paid. So you'd have like 4 screaming toddlers at your house, and it was great. I realize this does not sound great. I'm not selling it very well, but it was fun trying to like take care of the Sims and run the daycare. And I think that like tied in with the parenting skill and like the things we already have, this could work really well to tie into other packs. We also had boarding schools in The Sims 3, so if you didn't want to take care of your kids, the exact opposite, you could simply send them away. You could literally just like apply and send your kid to a boarding school and have your child go to military academy for like 2 weeks. You wouldn't see them, they'd be in a rabbit hole, and then they'd come back and age up and you'd be good. And like based on whatever school they went to, they'd get different skills or traits or whatever that were more like suited to what school they went to. They could go to like an artsy school and get like artsy skills or whatever. And that's great for those of us who might want to have kids but not raise kids. I think we've all had that kind of Sim, like that Sim that doesn't really want to raise their own children. Just send them off to boarding school, you know? There were also imaginary friends, which honestly not really a top feature in my mind, but they were kind of cool. Your Sim would get this like little doll when they were a toddler, and then they could play with it and like slowly get it to come out and like literally end up turning into a real Sim if you like did the full quest or whatever. And then you could make your doll into a human essentially throughout their life. Kind of creepy, but it was fun. Teens had so many activities. You could teach them to drive, like the parent could get in the car and teach them how to drive. They had a million high school club options. They were all rabbit holes, but there were so many different things. There was like sports clubs and music clubs and the newspaper and all these different activities. And it's fun to have that like label, like, oh, my Sim's on the sports team. And even if they aren't like actually playing the sport in front of you, they'll like go to the club and meet friends on Tuesdays after school and gain the athletic skill and stuff. They could also like do pranks and be rebellious. There was a rebellious trait. And then your parents could ground you. There were curfews at nighttime, and if you stayed out past it, you get driven home by the police and then get grounded. I loved that part of this game. They also had prom, so your Sims could like ask a date to go to the prom, and it would be a rabbit hole also. But like on that Friday night was the prom. You could dress up and have your date. They'd get a big prom photo at the event. It'd have like a bunch of little pop-ups being like, oh, your Sim lost prom queen, or maybe your Sim won prom queen, or like, oh, your Sim had their first kiss at the dance. And it was nice to have that like story popping up, like, oh, your Sim's doing this, oh, they're doing this now, oh, so and so was mean to them at prom, and then they come back embarrassed or whatever. It was really nice. I loved that about it. They also had graduation, which we so need. We have graduation for Sims when they go to university, and there isn't a high school graduation. And I realize that like not everywhere really does or has high school graduations, but where I live, high school graduation is kind of a big deal. And I think it's kind of nice to have that like passage of time to show like, oh, hey, your sim actually made it to adulthood. Because now when you age up from a teen to a young adult, nothing really happens. Like they just kind of blow out the candles and then it's like, all right, now get a job. I wish there was more of like an event to sort of like demonstrate that time is passing and they've gotten older. There honestly isn't that much difference between teens and young adults now anyway. The least we could do is have some sort of like dividing event, you know? They could also have teen parties. Honestly, teens couldn't do much before The Sims 3 Generations, so this was like really big back in the day. We have a lot more options for teens now, but with the teen parties, your parents could go out of town for a few days, and while they were gone, they'd be like in a rabbit hole on a free vacation or whatever. Like they get some weird call like, oh, you've been offered a free cruise, and then your Sims would go away for the weekend, and then your teen would be home alone, and they could throw a big party and then end up getting grounded or whatever. I just love that there was more consequence for your actions back then too. We kind of have a little bit of that with Parenthood. Like your Sims could sort of end up with like in the red for their lifestyle, whatever things from Parenthood. But I want to get grounded and like get in trouble for leaving the house because your Sim would like autonomously ground their kid and they couldn't even leave. They also couldn't go to school when they were grounded, which is kind of weird. But I want to get in trouble. I want my Sims to face the consequences. Children had a ton of activities too. They also had curfews. You can see on the box art, there's like a bunch of costumes they had. They could like play dress up and stuff. They had more clubs after school. I just miss this like depth for all of the lifestyle ages. Your adult Sims could get a random midlife crisis, like when they turn from a young adult into an adult. It's a chance event and it lasts like 6 days. And during their midlife crisis, they'd get these like midlife crisis wishes. And it would be things like get a tattoo, get a divorce, change jobs, like stuff like this. And it doesn't force you to do anything, obviously, but it kind of gives you that like, maybe I'll move my gameplay in like a new direction with this and kind of follow along with it. I don't think right now there's much in The Sims 4 that like happens to you. Like your spouse won't really decide to divorce you randomly. No one's gonna propose to you. You have to sort of dictate the entire gameplay. It's nice to have your Sim have like these random wishes that you don't have to act on, but it could be like, oh, I want a divorce. And you could be like, oh, never mind, it's just a midlife crisis, like it's just a passing thought. Or you could actually do it and like play out what happens afterward. It's nice to have that like spark. The idea, you know? Switch things up a little bit. They also had canes for elders. You could like set a different walking style for your elder and you could like give him a cane and you can have him walk in a bunch of different ways with the cane. We have walking styles in The Sims 4, but there was like more for elders with the canes. There were strollers for your toddlers to get pushed around. I'd love to see those come back. So here's what I'm thinking new idea wise for generations in The Sims 4. I'd love to see a lot of those previous things come back, especially the strollers and like the teen and child activities. But we have this get to work system of active careers, right? I'd love to see possibly active schooling for children and teens. I don't know how well it would work because you wouldn't have that same like different period every hour. Like it would be hard to do in such a short amount of time from like 8 to 3 p.m. or whatever. But it'd be fun to like actually go to school with your children. Possibly a daycare business, sort of like the vet has a business. You could run an actual daycare instead of just a home daycare, or maybe an active teaching career instead of like an active school. It'd be fun to have like your Sim be a teacher but actually run a classroom. We have a teaching career now, but it's from university and it feels more like professor-like. I want to be an elementary school teacher and like decorate my classroom, befriend the students, like teach them things. I think it'd be nice. Take them on field trips, you know, wouldn't that be fun? There were field trips in The Sims 3 Generations. Your Sim would like get a pop-up and it was like, hey, is your kid allowed to go to the, you know, fire station on a field trip tomorrow, or like the science lab? And you could say yes and they would go and come back with like a memento from it. It was really nice. I miss that, like the randomness of it. I'd love to see funerals in The Sims 4. It sounds kind of morbid, but like right now when your Sims die, nothing really happens. Like your Sims get sad for like 2 days and then it's like, okay, grandma's gone. And they like forget about her. I'd love to have like an actual event that you could use to memorialize a Sim. I don't know how it would work really, but it'd be nice to like actually see Sims outside of your household care. You know, if grandma dies, her grandkids might not even like notice or care. And that's kind of sad because you know what? They would know about it. It'd be nice to have like the whole family come back together for some sort of event like that. I don't know. Also possibly an actual graveyard lot type. There were graveyards in The Sims 3 and there was like ghosts everywhere at them and stuff, but it'd be cool to be able to like bring your Sims and have their graves there because I don't like having my Sims graves on my own lot because their ghosts come back and like haunt my house and break my toilets. It's not good. I'd like to put put grandma at the graveyard and still go and see her. You can kind of make a fake graveyard now, just like have a regular lot and put all your family's graves on it, but I'd like to have a real, like, actual graveyard. I was also thinking it'd be cool to have the ability to set more relationships in CAS. This would probably be in a free update that comes out before the pack. I'm taking this way too seriously. But right now in CAS, you can set like brother, sister, spouse, mom, dad, that's it. But in The Sims 3, you could set like, this sim is my boyfriend or my fiance or my husband, and you could sort of like have more options to set a more detailed relationship status to everybody. I want to be able to, from CAS, set up my family and be like, this is my Sim's boyfriend, this is his grandma. And you can do that now, kinda, if you wanted to like make a mom and then make the grandma, but I want to be able to set just Sim, grandma, boyfriend, and then pop into game. I don't want to have to like just make 2 random Sims, cheat to have them dating in game, kill the mom so that I can just have my Sim and grandma. I wish that I could more easily set like more detailed relationships in CAS like that, especially the boyfriend and fiance thing, because like single and married are 2 extremes. You know, you could have your Sims just be dating or just be engaged, but we can't do that very easily without cheating it or like actually coming into game and playing through it. But what if you want to start off with an engaged couple? You know, that would be nice. I also wish that your extended family actually mattered more in The Sims 4. Like, for the most part, it's just your like immediate household bubble that matters. I wish that like your Sims cared about their cousins and uncles and aunts and everybody more. Because right now, obviously, if you don't go and meet them, they're not gonna care about them too much. But I just wish that like family mattered more. I'm looking for a real family pack here. Possibly some new aspirations for children. Right now, we have like just the default few that have always been there for children. You all know them. We've done them a million times. It'd be cool to have like a couple new ones for kids if we had some sort of family pack. Also, possibly teen exclusive aspirations. Because again, right now, teens and young adults don't really have much differing between them. They're the same size, they look the same, and your teens pick their lifelong aspiration when they're a teen. And honestly, like, you don't really need to work on your aspirations, your lifelong ones, just as a teen. Like, when you pick that music aspiration, it's not really that hard to finish it. Like, maxing a skill or whatever isn't the most difficult thing. And a lot of the aspirations are very like pack driven, like little mini pack tutorials. So you could pick like the Strangerville one and it just kind of walks you through how to play Strangerville. It'd be cool to have aspirations that were more like, here is my teen's interest, and it could be like fulfilled just as you're a teen, kind of like how kids ones can be done just when you're a child. It gives teens more of like a purpose, you know? Also, The Sims 3 had like lucky and unlucky traits, not with generations, but I'd love to see them return. I want my Sim to be unlucky. Kind of unrelated, but just throwing that out there. I want an unlucky Sim. Even as like a random chance trait that your Sim just becomes unlucky, I'd like to have that happen to me. Think of all the bad things. If you pick the unlucky trait, like think of all the bad things that could go wrong in your life. I would love that. Your Sim's just more likely to get struck by lightning. They burn things down more easily. Like, I would love that. You know what? I decided that the unlucky trait is my most desired thing right now. I really want that really badly. So there were a few things in Generations that I didn't like that much. There was a chemistry skill that was like the new skill. We kind of already have that. Like, your Sims can use the chemistry set as their children. It builds the logic skill. Like, we don't really need a separate like chemistry thing anymore. I would like to see obviously some skills come into the pack. I don't really know which ones. I don't know what direction they go with. I'm thinking something similar, sort of like a thing that isn't necessarily related to Generations, but is like a fun addition. I mean, what if they added like a new instrument and you could get the drums skill with Generations? Maybe your Sim could be like in a band as a teen. That would be fun, but I don't know. I'll leave that to you, EA. You can figure that out. So imaginary friends, like I said, they're kind of creepy. They look like this, and you have like a little doll in your inventory, and like your Sim will play with it their whole life, right? And then as it gets older, it can like become a thing that like walks around, but only you can see it. And then if you get close enough and make this like fancy potion, you can make it into a human. And then the humans kind of wear like clothes like this. It's a fun concept, but the doll kind of like yells at you for not playing with it enough, and they follow you around, and it's kind of weird. So I like the idea of your kid having like a favorite toy, or like maybe just more stuffed animals. Like if your kid would sleep with a stuffed animal, think how cute that would be. But like, I don't know about the ones that come to life and yell at me. Like that, I don't know. Maybe that could be fun. I don't know. We have Blarfy. It already kind of talks to me. I don't know. Also, there was a nurturing trait in The Sims 3. We already have family oriented. I'm not too sure if we need like a second nurturing trait. There was a rebellious trait though, and that one was fun. So maybe our pack could have like rebellious and unlucky. It's the 2 traits. Why are they only bad ones? Oh, I like bad traits better than good traits, clearly. So just in general, I think The Sims 4 needs more depth like this, you know? Like teens could randomly get crowned prom queen or have their first kiss at the the dance, and you get these pop-ups with more story. We have these midlife crisis events that have your Sims get these desires to do things they wouldn't otherwise do. We have the graduations to mark better passage of time. We have new things for like every life state. We've got things even after your Sims are dead. Like, it kind of makes their entire life feel more important. That's what I'm looking for. And that is my pitch for the Sims 4 Generations. This isn't like a new idea. I think a lot of us have wanted this for a very long time. I just wanted an excuse to sit here and make a little Google Slides thing. I felt like typing up some stuff. It's kind of a good meme, I think. I stole the idea from Jesse. And this also might not be a pack that you're super interested in. I mean, there are like a million packs they could make. They could do anything. I just think that I would love to see more family gameplay and like more things that add that depth that I'm looking for. I want my Sims' lives to feel more important, okay? And like they impact other people around them. And I really want to have prom again. I want prom really bad. So what do you want to see in The Sims 4 this year? What's your like dream pack? If you could have like one expansion pack idea, what would it be? I've heard Molly, the English simmer, talk about like a hobbies based pack. I love that concept. What's yours? It could be dumb. I don't mind. You could say you wanted a cleaning pack and I'd be like, yeah, mop the floors. I don't know. What do you want? Let's chat in the comments. Happy New Year, by the way. And on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Why do I kind of want a cleaning pack now? I guess we already got a laundry pack. So a cleaning pack, it doesn't seem that out of the ordinary. Give me a broom or like a real vacuum. Or like mowing the lawn with the grass that doesn't grow. I want a lawnmower pack. The Sims 4 lawn stuff.